pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, how many devotees we have now? Shall we start? Okay. So 30 qualities for civilized human beings is our topic, which every human being should acquire. These 30 qualities. What are they? First of all, Dharma Moolam hi Bhagavan, Sarva Vedamayo Harihi. The root of all dharma, the root of dharma is the Lord Himself. The pramana, the evidence of dharma is the Lord Himself. And how is to be found? Sarva Vedamayo Harihi. Throughout the Vedic literatures, uh, he is the one who is described. Sarva Vedamayo Harihi. Smritam Chatadvidam Rajan. Same thing has been delineated by in Smriti Shastras by great sages. Tadvidam Rajan, one who know that, one who know the Lord, one who are devotees, they have delineated. Yena Chatma Prasidati. So not only delineated, they have showed the behavior also, how one should behave. And another evidence is also that one should become pleased in the heart. That is also an evidence that dharma is being followed. Is it not? So dharma moolam hi Bhagavan, Ved sarva vedamayo harihi. What are these? What is dharma? Bhagavata dharma. What are the symptoms of Bhagavata dharma? These are the symptoms. 30 qualities should be present in that society, in each individual. What is the 30 qualities? Satyam daya tapah shaucham titiksheksha shamodamaha ahimsa brahmacharyam cha tyaga swadhyaya arjavam santoshah samadruksevaagramye hyopaparamah shanai nृणाम विपर्यहेक्षा मौनम आत्मविमर्शनम अन्नाद्यादेह संविभागो भूतेभ्यश्च यतार्हतः तेष्वात्मदेवता बुद्धि सुतराम नृष्ट पांडव. These are the 21 qualities, and most importantly, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Chasya, Smaranam Mahatam Gatehe, Sevejya, Vanatirdasya, Sakyam, Atmasamarpanam. These are the 9 qualities. Total 30 qualities are expected that every human being should acquire. What is going to happen? Nranam ayam paro dharmaha sarvesham samudahritah trimshad lakshanavan rajan sarvatma yena tushyati. By this, the Supreme Lord becomes very pleased, and naturally, because we are watering the root, we will also become very pleased. So this is the uh, formula. Now, within this, the 9 qualities are the most important, are called as dharmaha. Satyadya ekavimshati bhakti upakarani bhuta shravanadya navatu sakshat bhakti riti. So, sakshat bhakti or the actual dharma is navavidha bhakti or acquiring 9 qualities. Sat, Shravanam, Kirtanam, the quality of listening, quality of hearing or listening. Shravanam is to listen. Kirtanam is to chant. These two are the most important out of 9. So first of all, 9 qualities have to be acquired, and the doorway is the Shravanam and Kirtanam. So by acquiring these 9 qualities, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati yakinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate suraha. All other good qualities are supposed to automatically take shelter in ourselves. What are those other qualities that should be taking shelter in us? That also we should know. That is satyam naya tapashaucham. 21 other qualities we discussed, right? Now this is a uh, task of building a temple within our own heart. What is that temple? We are supposed to invite the Lord. So the true invitation, how is it possible to invite? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, through Navavida, practicing or acquiring 9 qualities, we can invite the Lord in the heart. And to so we need a place for the Lord to sit. We need a temple, is it not? So the foundation of the temple is the right motivation. We have already discussed Tamasa Bhakti, Rajasa Bhakti, and Satvika Bhakti. So it should go beyond this Sattva Bhakti, which is Sattva Sattva, that is performing anything as a duty. It should go beyond that, that is Shuddha Sattva, performing for pleasure of the Lord, pleasure of Krishna. So, so therefore, the pure motivation becomes the foundation. And then above on that, we are building Satyadi Chatushtayam Antarangam. We are building Satyam Daya Tapa Shaucham as the main pillars. These are the pillars. Upon all this, we will now construct the temple, right? So all other things are secondary in the sense they are upanga. They're just structures related to, based on these things. So, what are we doing then? First of all, Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Shaucham, we have discussed. Satyam, Bhuta, Droha, Varjitam, Nirmatsranam, no enviousness. That is Satyam. Daya, Parapida, Nivrittihi. That is to feel pain in the heart about from by seeing others suffering and want to relieve it. That is Daya. Tapasya, austerity, the most important austerity, very simple, is Ekadashi Upavasa. Shaucham, cleanliness. Cleanliness is what? Internal cleanliness and external cleanliness. So internal cleanliness is by chanting, and external cleanliness is by taking bath twice a day. Therefore, these 4 pillars becomes these 4 items, these 4 qualities becomes the pillars. Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Shaucham. These are the qualities. These are the pillars of dharma. We have discussed the now upangas. What is that? Titiksha. One should tolerate. One should tolerate the distress that they suffer, but not others. That is, other suffering is not. We should not
Is not,
tolerate that.
we should not tolerate that.
They are the very code.
So, that is called as titiksha. Titiksha shitoshnadi dvanda sahishnata. So one should tolerate. There will be so many issues as we go along. One should know that these are all temporary. Ultimately, in the heart, one should always keep fixed. That is called as Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Making the instruction of the spiritual master as life and soul, then everything will just come and go. One will not get affected. That is called as titiksha. Tattena kampa sushamikshamano bhunjano evam kritam vipakam. That is called as titiksha. What is iksha? Iksha is heyopadeya vivekaha. What is right, what is not right, what is wrong, what is to be done, what is should not be done. This knowledge, discriminative knowledge, is known as iksha. So always one should discriminate and understand what is right and what is not wrong. What is anukula? Anukula means what is favorable and what is not favorable. Right? Anything which is not connected to Krishna is unfavorable. Sambandha. First of all, sambandha we should know. Oh, this is connected to Krishna? Yes. Or how I can connect it to Krishna? Or what is it according to Shastra? So this way, discriminating. In other words, intelligently, diligently acting. This is known as Iksha. So we have discussed various things are there in Shastra. So first, most important is the rule is Smartavya Satatam Vishnur Vismartavyo no Jatu Chit Sarve Vidhi Nishedhaha Shur Etayor Eva Kinkaraha. Only one most important rule is there. What is that? Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, always in remembrance of Krishna, never forgetting Krishna is a rule. Based on this rule, what other rules are supportive? Is it not? So there is Iksha means code of conduct. One should not do this, one should not do that, one should sit like this, one should eat like this, one should bathe like this, one should sleep like this, one should get up like that, one should behave like this, one should. So much so that Ayurveda Shastra also gives so many details. If you see a friend in the market or somewhere outside, and you notice that person has come, your friend, immediately you should be the first one to greet them, not wait for them to greet you. Even that small, minute way of behavior affects us uh, in our consciousness. So therefore, I mean, these basic codes of conduct is called as pradnya, means pradnya pradha. One should have basic codes of conduct. This is not something very, um, what you call, imaginary or some artificial thing. What is happening is here clearly mentioned in Shastra, Ayuhu, it will, certain activities, behavior traits decreases the lifespan. So therefore, that should be avoided. Certain things, do's and don'ts should be known. Mm. Similarly, you will be surprised. I will next talk about Shamaha, that is the next quality. It's also very intimately connected to Yiksha. So don't get too overwhelmed with too many details. It's very simple. It's already given in the Shastra, very small list that these are the things that should be done, these are the things that should not be done. So if we know, that's very good. We are armed with knowledge, is it not? Like I have seen sometimes they hold slippers in the hand, is it not? That's not correct. Holding slippers or sandals in the hand is not right. Drinking or eating or anything with the left hand is not right. Come on, how is that? Why is there so many rules are there? No, these are some simple, basic do's and don'ts in life. Hmm. Though, if you want, we can discuss. Actually, I had conducted this course for children quite some time back, and I had gone through because as children, we always want to know what is good to do and what is not good to do, what should be done, what should not be done. If this knowledge is there, children are very clear, and I mean, as a child, we could only imagine if we had give God. Of course, mother used to say, "Don't do this, don't do that." So many things are there which if we get to know, that's good enough. We'll be clear in mind. Okay, this is what is to be done, this should not be done this way, one should sit in this way, one should talk, one should laugh. The basic things are there in life, is it not? So this is called as iksha or heyopade vivekaha. How to mm, mm, code of conduct, what is right, what is not right, one should know. Hmm? So this is Iksha. Now, one question is, already we are dealing with 30 qualities, and Iksha itself is like another 100 qualities or 100 points to say. How many qualities are these? So don't get too this thing. These are simple points that one should know as a matter of fact. Okay. Now, today we will start on discussing Shamaha. Shall I start, begin? And you can say Om after chanting, unmuting your microphone, right? Shall I begin the session, today's session? Thank you. This, yes. Hare Krishna. So you can mute your microphone now. Yes. Thank you. So we have 18 devotees today. Others may be listening the recording. Okay. So it's a good way to start. Otherwise, the teacher comes or person comes and starts writing on the blackboard, we used to feel in the school or college, this this fellow came and started, and we were least interested. He would go on writing, we would go on making fun. So, but just this simple system in the tradition is very important. Yeah. So, what is shamaha? Shamaha antarindriya jayaha. What is antarindriya? Antarindriya means the sense organ inside. External sense organs are pancha. What are they? Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, right? Skin, like this, right? These are pancha indriyas. So panchendriya and antarindriya. Bahyendriya is the sense organs, and the leader of these sense organs is the mind. Shamaha antarindriya jayaha means to win over, to conquer, to control the mind is called as shamaha. This is one of the quality we should acquire. Come on, how is it possible to control the mind or conquer the mind? Shamaha manishtata buddhehe. If the mind is trained to think of Krishna always, manishtatha, fixed up in the remembrance of Krishna, that is called as shamaha. Shamaha is not different from thinking of Krishna, remembrance of Krishna, or fixed up in the somehow or the other engaged in Krishna. That is called as shamaha. So in yoga we see, uh, what is that? Um, First, this thing, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Hmm.
Yama.
Yogaschitya vritti nirodha, right? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti. Chitta means mind. Mind is also called as sattva and chitta. So chitta means what? Mind. Chitta vritti nirodha. Vritti means what? Mind's occupation. What is mind's occupation? This is analyzed very nicely in the Ayurvedic Shastra also, and many all other Shastras are explaining what is his mind. For a modern science, mind is still a confusing thing. They don't have a proper description of what is mind. Rather, they only have explored the faculties of brain sort of, and they have explored the sense organs or the cells in the body, etc., etc. But mind is something very subtle which cannot be seen. What is then? How do we understand that there is a mind? So Ayurveda Shastra is giving by antarindriya punarmanaha sattva sanyakaha. So chetaha means what is it? It is understood that mind exists by the feelings of happiness and distress. This is a job of the mind. Feelings of happiness and distress is a job of the mind. So mind is an element which cannot be seen. It is a subtle element and accompanies the soul, and its job is to experience happiness and distress. Hmm. Now, mind can be trained. Mind can be trained. Mana eva karana bandhana moksha yoho. It is unless it is trained, huh, it can make us continue in this material world, or it can make us eternally at the place of Krishna's lotus feet. So mind is very, very powerful and very, very important. That's why this quality has to be acquired. What is it, this quality? How it is can be acquired? So this quality means to always positively engage the mind. Mind needs engagement. Mind is always busy. Chitta vrittihi. The vritti is continuously, mind is taking the inputs from the senses, processing those inputs, and um, experiencing happiness and distress. Why it is experiencing happiness and distress, or why it is interpreting happiness and distress? Because it is liable for affliction with three uh, three modes of material nature. What is that? Three modes of material nature: sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. Passion, ignorance, and uh, goodness. So with these three doshas, three gunas, right? These three gunas afflict the mind. The doshas kapha pitta vata afflict the body, but three doshas, other three doshas, sattva, rajas, and tamas afflict the mind. Mind is having three doshas. So these doshas or three gunas, right? Three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas is afflicting the mind. So one has to raise above the mind. Indriyani paranyahor indriyebhya param manaha manasastu parabuddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha. So mind is above the senses. We cannot see the mind. We cannot hear the mind because it is above the senses. We can experience the mind through its behavior. So therefore, the control of mind or Atma Prasada Saumyatvam. We see the Atma Prasada Saumyatvam. How is it Atma Prasada Saumyatvam? What is austerity of mind? Austerity of mind is Mana Prasada Saumyatvam Atma Vinigraha. Maunam Atma Vinigraha. Bhava Samshuddhiretat Tapa Manasa Muchyate. Means by practicing training. It is told in Charaka Samhita, Yadgunam cha abhikshnam purusha manuvartate. The action of mind is to repeatedly do something, or repeatedly doing something becomes the action of the mind. So, in other words, abhyasa. Whatever abhyasa is being done, that qualities the mind will acquire. It's a mechanical thing. It's a, what do you call, it's a matter. Mind is a matter actually. So whatever we train, whatever abhyasa we do, that quality it will acquire. Charaka Samhita is telling the quality of the mind. So therefore, if we say there is a saying, out of mind, out of sight, is it not? So whatever we give inputs, whatever we train the mind in, mind will start experiencing those things. That is a job of the mind. So it depends. Indriyani paranyahar indriyava paramana manasastu para buddhir. Through intelligence, this has to be done. Through intelligence, right? So if we engage in devotional service, the intelligence is given by Krishna only. Dadami buddhi yogam, is it not? So therefore, to engage the mind means to repeatedly do activities which are favorable. So this way we can control the mind. Very simple, repeated. Practice makes man perfect. How is it this saying is coming? How that, say, the hand. Say we practice how to play a guitar, for example. Practice and continuously practice, it becomes so easy that we don't have to see it literally. We don't have to think about it also. Our hands keep moving. So similarly, the mind, once it is trained, it is easy to, uh, for example, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds, automatically our tongue will be vibrating. Wherever we go, although we are doing some other thing, we are thinking as if we are chanting. So we will be chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. It will be going on continuously in the mind. Like just like when we hear Prabhupada's kirtan, dhun, or a song, is it not? In the back of the mind, this whole thing will be continuously going throughout the day, although we may not be listening. How is this possible? This is because this is the activity of the mind. It once it is you start the machine and give it a push, it will go on. This is the quality of the mind. Therefore, one has to just do a repeated thing, engage the mind in doing something which connects to Krishna. That's all is to be done. That is why it is called Abhyasa Yogena Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Gruhyate. To control the mind, Krishna gives this formula. What is that? Abhyasena. Repeatedly do it. Yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam asthiram. It may go wander again, bring it back. Again do it. Manaschanchalam asthiram. It is always chanchala. It is always cannot stop at one thing. Uh, Asthiram, and it is not cannot sit at one place. So therefore, training is what is required. One who is trained is what is the quality of that such a person trained? Atma, manah prasada saumyatvam. Is very peaceful, very organized thought process is going on in the mind. Is grave, simple, grave, controlled. mm. So this is the quality of a mind controlled person, is it not? Mana prasad saumyatvam. The most important quality is mind is always engaged in thought process of Krishna. This is called as Shantarasa. The first of all, we should acquire Shantarasa. Then we can acquire other rasas. Mm. In Shantarasa means what? Always engaged in thinking of Krishna. Somehow or the other. What is that? Somehow or the other. Yena kena prakarena manah Krishna niveshayet. Always somehow or the other we should engage the mind in Krishna. Hmm. Mana Krishna niveshayet. Hmm. So 64 arts are there. How to engage? 64 arts to engage Krishna. In mind can to in Krishna. Arts are the one which can engage in Krishna consciousness. What is that art? Singing. Geetam, Ganam, Natyam, Nrityam, Alekhyam, Vaisheshikachedyam, uh, Tandula, Kusuma, Bali, Vikarika, Karma. Like this, 64 arts are there. All of them can be utilized to engage the mind in Krishna. This is very, very wonderful. Just listening to Krishna Kirtan immediately churns our heart. Hmm. Yeah, just seeing the nritya, natya, all the wonderful 64 arts are there to engage the mind. There's so many scriptures, Puranas are there, wonderful pastimes of Krishna is there. Hmm? That's why Chittahari, Krishna is called as Chittahari, who can conquer our mind. Huh? So we just have to allow Krishna to conquer our mind. It is possible. So just engaging our mind through the intelligence. That is called as Shamaha, Antarindriya Jayaha. Prabhupada says here, the power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons, and spiritual masters, and those whose thinking is highly developed. In other words, coming in touch with such a people, we will also get trained. It's like a magnet. If a iron is continuously rubbed to the magnet, rub, and then that iron also will develop the properties of the magnet. Just like that, we should associate with persons who have developed, who have the thought process, the control of the mind achieved, right? So here in Ayurvedic Shastras also it is given the problems of the mind, how the mind can get into problem, the whole pathogenesis, pathological problems, right? Mind will have so many problems: depression, anxiety disorder, mood disorder, you name it, sociopathy, narcissistic behavior, all crazy things are there in this material world, is it not? And so many medicines are being given to control this mind: depression, anxiety disorders, psychopathy, schizophrenia, this and that. So many millions of diseases have been, psychological disorders have been defined, right? So Ayurveda says, dheer dheer dhairya dheer dhairya atmadi vijnanam mano dosha adham param. So the solution for mind's problem is dhihi. Dhihi means that hita vivekaha. What should be done and what should not be done should be known. Then mind can be cured. So curing the mind, for example, in Charaka Samhita also it is given that the same list of do's and don'ts is given. Literally, what we spoke in the last session, about code of good conduct, right? Code of good conduct. The same similar discussion is also there in Charaka Samhita, Ayurveda. This is called as Pradnya Aparadha. If so, one question comes. Atreya Muni is being asked, how is that mind develops so many pathological, so many problems. So Atreya Rishi replies to Charaka Muni, the group of saints sitting, that that is because of um, transgressing the codes of conduct. That is why mind develops diseases. What is that? So many other mind problems. So what is that then? Next question is, what are those codes of conduct? The same, literally almost same details given as we discussed in Iksha, under Iksha. So therefore, it is very important. Not only it will help in controlling the mind, it will also help in making the mind, uh, you know, very healthy state. So what is that? Uh, uh, Regularity. What is that? Regulation. Regulation is required. Hmm? Is it not? Uh, what is that? Yoga. Uh, unless there is no regulation for everything, is it not? Vihara, ahara, vihara. What is the shloka? Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasu karmasu yukta swapnavabhodasya yogo dukkha yogo bhavati dukkha. So one can conquer the mind, one can conquer this sukha dukkha, all the sukha and dukkha one can conquer by regulation. Regulation. So therefore, the mind needs to be trained. How is to be trained? In association of those who have regulated their mind. In association of those who are able to regulate their mind. Authorities of scripture, saintly persons, spiritual masters. Mm. Through their association, we will also start regulating our mind. Correct? This is the next quality that we should acquire. Automatically, by following Namavida, if we acquire 9 qualities, this quality automatically should come. Right? So we should know what is this quality. So Dhir Dhairya, and Atma Vijnanam, according to Ashtanga Hridaya, the solution for mind's problem is Dhir Dhairya and Atma Vijnana. Dhi means Hita Hita Chintana, Hita Hita Viveka. What should be done, what should not be done, this knowledge. Dhairya means to tolerate this sense urges, tolerating the sense urges, right? That is Dhairya. Dhir Dhairya. Atma Vijnana, Krishna consciousness, is a solution for mental problems. Okay. Next is Damaha. What is Damaha? Damaha Indriya Samyama, na Chauradi Damanam. So, Indriya Samyama. So, Indriya Samyama means what? Controlling the senses. Really? If mind is controlled, automatically senses are controlled, isn't not? Then why again speak of controlling the senses? Controlling the senses means senses are always demanding. The activity of senses is to feed, to give the input. So one should be able to control. How is it controlling? Means disengaging them from the objects of senses is controlling. Between the objects of senses and the senses, there is a decision making, is it not? There is, say for example, I'm having too much stomach problem, and if I offer you rasagulla, although it is the most tastiest thing, I love it, but I'm having indigestion problem. You offer rasagulla. Do you like it? Will you like to take it? No. What do we do? No, I don't want. Please, I'm sorry. Thank you. Good. I know that this rasgulla is fantastic, amazing. I love to have it, but I can't have it. I don't want it now. Similarly, when you eat, when we are eating food, after some time our stomach is full. Even though I offer the best of the food, will you be able to take? No, enough. I can't take it. Just like that, hmm, there should be once we know this should not be done. Eating meat, eating mm, fish, eggs, right? This is not daya. This is parapeda, creating himsa for others. Therefore, I don't want anything related to eating meat, drinking wine, or drinking alcohol. Intoxication, is it not? Intoxication, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, controlling the mind means disengaging from the objects of senses. Of course, we need to eat to survive. What should be eaten? Krishna prasadam. We can eat Krishna prasadam, is it not? Hmm. We need to drink. What can we drink? Why alcohol only? You can drink Krishna prasadam. Hmm. Drink various things. Beverages are there. You don't need to drink intoxicating. Already mind is intoxicated. Already we are intoxicated in this material world, thinking I am this, I am that, I am so and so, I am a lady, I am a man, I am a wife, I am a husband, I am the owner, I am the manager, I am and so born in so and so family. I have so much degree, PhD degree, that degree. I am this, I am that. I am American, I am Indian. This is already intoxicated condition. Sarva upadhi we have. So damaha is to control the mm, disengaging from the senses. Then we can control. The first important most is to control the tongue. If we can control the tongue, all other senses can be controlled. So therefore, taking prasadam is the most important activity. Chanting is the most important activity. These two activities are the most important activities to control the tongue.
Guru,
Mhm.
I have a question.
Yes, Mataji.
Um, so when it says, "Do not speak of anything that does not concern," it says here, "Do not does not speak of any subjects other than those concerning Krishna." How can we do this if you're going to work or university? How do we do this?
Correct. So actually, everything is connected to Krishna. Nothing can be disconnected from Krishna. So talking in any subject related to Krishna means if it is not connected in the sense, if we don't see any connection, or if it is just a waste of time, is it not? For example, I may speak simply chat. It's like a frog. Frog keeps chatting. It keeps making sound. Ultimately, the snake comes to know that the frog is here, and it will come and eat it. So simply talking is there. Even a machine can talk. Simply parrot can talk. But we should see the connection through to Krishna. Otherwise, we don't have anything to do with that activity. Hmm?
So
So, for example,
avoiding prajalpa, that unnecessary.
correct, unnecessary prajalpa, right? So, what is required? That can be talked, but we know the intrinsic connection with Krishna. Ultimately, we know that what we are trying to do, how is it connected to Krishna? So that's why in the beginning, in the Satyam, we said that one very interesting verse that if at all you want, better not to speak, but if we want to speak, speak Satyam, which is connected to Krishna. Hmm, Satyam. So, in other words, all our activities, our talking, everything, somehow or the other should lead to connection with Krishna. Hmm, somehow or the other. So, people also know that unnecessary talking is uh, waste of time, but they're what you call habitized. They have become a habit to talk unnecessarily. This is how the training of the mind happens. So again and again they do that. Again and again it will take them somewhere. They will become so far away from understanding the um, who am I? What is the purpose of life? So these thoughts. if it takes away from the basic, uh, you know, what you call the important question we should always inquire. Hmm? Who am I? What is my purpose of life? Where am I going? So one should come back to this position to see, okay, this is what I'm supposed to. Is it not? So unnecessary talking will simply, that we will come to the next quality, maunam. So first of all, to keep the tongue under control means to take Krishna Prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Uchai Kirtanam, especially loud chanting or singing, can control the mind. Mm. So taking prasadam means there is one chapter in uh, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Naivedya Bhakshana Vidhi, how to honor prasadam. Hmm? Simply Krishna Prasadam we honor means what? How to honor? There is a system. We can go through as part of this particular quality. But I'll give you a simple example. One should sit properly. One should chant the prayers. Hmm. One should not talk while honoring prasadam. One should very meditatively, in the sense as if we are offering to the Lord in the heart. Or we have made the Lord seated in the heart. We're offering to the Lord. That should be the mode. So before we start, there is a mantra to be started. Parisechana is to be done. Then there is we do apana swaha, pranahuti. Simple. One or two steps are there, and then we take honor prasadam and uh, get up. After getting up, we should sit after for we should walk few steps, chanting, and then sit at one place and rub the belly and remember Krishna. But Krishna is now satisfied and digesting it. This is simple. Mm. So, not too many rules. This is not a rules and regulation. This is to control the senses, the mind. This is how the senses are controlled, especially the tongue. Once the tongue is controlled, all other senses can automatically come under control. Otherwise, what will happen? Hmm? Hmm. Sharira avidya jal, jadendriya tahe kal. जीव है फैले विषय सागरे तार मध्य जीवाती लोभो माया सुदुर्मति ताके जेटा कठिन संसारे, otherwise it will draw us to again back to kathina sansara. So therefore one should start with the control of the tongue. Other things will automatically happen. Okay, other senses can be controlled. Shall we go ahead?
Yes.
Next is what? Ahimsa. What is ahimsa? The next quality one should acquire automatically, and we should know what it is ahimsa. Ahimsa sarvatha parapida varjanam. Hmm. Not engaging in creating affliction or afflicting somebody. That is called as himsa. Afflicting somebody is called as himsa. Creating distress for somebody is called himsa. Ahimsa means not creating distress to somebody. First of all, daya means what? If somebody is in distress, we want to help them. We want to relieve. We feel pain in the heart. That is called as daya. Ahimsa means for my existence, I should not create distress in some other living entity for my existence. So therefore, the first of all, the important symptom of a religion is ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Why is it? Because as much as possible only we should live, not creating any himsa to any other living entity. Ishavasyamidam sarvam, Ishavasyamidam sarvam, yatkin chit jagatyam jagat. Tena taktena bhunjita. We have all been given allotment. Hmm? So, tena taktena bhunjita. Only that much we should accept. Bhunjita is also eating. So as human beings, we have given allotment. You eat lacto-vegetarian diet. For animals, for tigers, they've been given allotment. You eat the meat, kill and eat meat. For insects, they have been given. You can eat some anything which is dead and which is so and so. So each animal has been given
Your voice
allotted.
is breaking.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Am I audible now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. So I was mentioning that each living entity, each living yoni in this creation has been allotted some food, right? That is Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. So everybody has been allotted. So as human being, we have been allotted lacto-vegetarian diet. For insects, there is whatever they get forage on the ground, they can eat. For honeybees, you can drink the nectar and the pollen. So like this, and the tiger, you can kill and eat the meat. So this way, every animal, every species has been allotted certain types of food to eat, right? Similarly, for humans, lacto-vegetarian diet has been eaten. Now, how do you say lacto-vegetarian diet? Who has in so these are things described in Shastra. Bhaksha, bhaksha, what is to be eaten and what is not to be eaten. So therefore, for human beings, what is food and what is not food? Well, for existence, we need food, shelter, and clothing. Without creating himsa, we should be able to achieve this. How is it possible? There will be some himsa, right? There will be some himsa. Yes, there will be some himsa, but very, very minute, minor, minimal, uh, and that should be offered to the Lord. Therefore, otherwise, there is no question of creating himsa for the other living entities. Uh, for example, for my living, I'm killing animal and eating it. Oh, that is not right. Why you have to kill any other living being for your existence? You can exist without it. Yes, I can exist. Then no need of it. Similarly, for my clothing, I'm killing so many insects, silk clothing, so many insects I have to kill. So why? No, I don't want it. Okay, that is fine. No need. Maybe you can go for ahimsa silk, or you can go for activities which is things which we create minimal himsa to other living entities. So we should mold our life in such a way that we don't create himsa for other living entities for my subsistence, for my existence. I don't need to create violence. That is that understanding and that behavior, that quality is called as ahimsa. Hmm? Ahimsa karanatrayenapi parapida nivrittihi. Now further understanding is not only by creating himsa means what killing. It is not just killing. Even by words, if I hurt somebody, that is also himsa. Even by in my mind, if I think bad about somebody, or if I think that this person should be, uh, or this thing, this living entity, if I think against that living entity, or if I want to do something harm to that living entity, even in the mind, that is also himsa. Because mind will only finally ultimately turn to action, right? So even in the mind, karanatrayena means manaha, vacha, kaya, vacha, manasa. Ahimsa should be followed. So first of all, it should be very clear, simple, hmm, not to put others into distress. So ahimsa means not checking anyone's progressive life. The animals are also making progress in this evolutionary life by transmigrating from one category of animal life to another. If a particular animal is killed, then the progress is checked. If an animal is staying in the particular body for so many days or so many years and is ultimately killed, untimely killed, then he has to come back again in that form of life to complete the remaining days in order to be promoted to another species of life. So their progress should not be checked simply to satisfy one's palate. This is called as ahimsa. Okay. Parapida nivrittihi, parapida varjanam, ahimsa. Hmm. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam prehitam chayat. Anudvega. Udvega is also himsa. Okay. Shall we go to the brahmacharya now? Next quality.
Yes,
What is the
Prabhu.
time? Yeah. Brahmacharyam anuchita kaleshu stri sangarahityam. Brahmacharyam nishiddha desha kaladau tri sambhogadi vivarjanam. What is brahmacharya? Brahmacharya. Charya means to behave. Brahma means to behave in such a way that one follows the most important thing, that is to be engaged in the service of Krishna. That is called as brahmacharya. So what is problem in the service of Krishna? The sense organs. The most important, the difficult to control is, as I said, the tongue. If we control the tongue, all other senses are controlled. Hmm. So one more urge that is always pulling us is the sense of sexual desire. There is a sexual desire in every living entity. Therefore, this creation has been created in such a way, Krishna's creation is such a way that without sexual desire, there is no question of propagation, no question of continuation of the generations. So therefore, just a minute. Uma, so therefore, control of the sexual desire is very, very important. How do we control the sexual desire? This process is called as brahmacharya. There is again regulation required. Is it not? Yuktahar viharasya yukta cheshtasu karmasu. So all the senses are required to be controlled. Otherwise, it is not possible. To disengage from the senses is what is important. The more we train the mind, the way it is possible to control. So it is disengagement. Abhyasena takonteya vairagyena chakryate. So then, what about sexual desire that is there in the in ourselves? Oh yes, that has to be controlled. Is it? How it is to be controlled? Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, so many problems will come. Sexual desire is a very, very dangerous problem. What is a dangerous thing in the sexual indulgence? The danger is that become very mentally and spiritually weak. That is a very dangerous thing. Uh, so mentally and spiritually, one becomes very weak. So all the doshas will get vitiated. Three doshas, kapha, pitta, vata will get vitiated. And not only that, uh, the more you indulge, it becomes an addiction. The more you indulge, the more it's like kandura eva, bahudukha bhajam. You scratch, there is an itching. Uh, you keep on itching, it will increase the itching. You need to feel like itching more. You keep on itching, the blood will come out. So that is a problem with sexual desire. One should be able to control. Chastity is very important. Huh? First of all, tongue should be chaste. Tongue, how it is to be chaste? To eating Krishna Prasadam. Similarly, the chastity means not to see any other woman other than one's own wife as mother. This is the first important. Matravat paradareshu. Okay, that is okay, simple. We have then if you want sexual, if there is a sexual desire, naturally there is a sexual desire, get married. That is a samskara. Vivaha yajna. Vivaha samskara is there. Oh, although Vivaha samskara is there, I am not able to control the sexual desire. Garbhadhana samskara. There is a samskara. Garbhadhana. What is Garbhadhana? Why is the marriage being done? To ultimately raise children. Hmm? So, what happens in our mental understanding? We think sexual desire is something which is what you call beyond. There are so many details into that. One should be trained. Children should be trained because there's as they grow up, they'll get what do you call understanding of sexual impulses, is it not? So there, that time they should be trained about Garbhadana Sanskar. It is not a joke. Getting married or having a sexual desire is not a joke. It is a very important samskara. Hmm? The first samskaras of all other samskaras is Garbhadana Sanskar. So therefore, one should follow, other than Garbhadana Sanskar, they should follow Brahmacharya. Means um, Stri Sambhoga. So association of man and woman, female and male is a natural thing. So, but that association is to be regulated only for propagation of child. That's all. Only for propagation of the child. Stri Sambhoga Vivarjanam. So it's very difficult. No, it is by practice. It is by association of other devotees who are not in this understanding, who are practicing, who are engaged, whose mind is busy. And that's why I told 64 arts. 64 arts, without the arts, it is Pashu Hinaha. Simply, it's just like Pashu, and like an animal, we are also like a dog. It can have free sex anywhere on the road. A monkey has so many wives. A monkey will have so many wives. What is a dog doing? A male dog keeps on searching for a female dog, smelling the vagina and roaming around. This is a dog. Like, we are not dogs or cats or animals. We are human beings. What is human being? There is a vivaha yajna. Get married. Okay. Then there is a system, that is samskara. Hmm. Therefore, one should know that this engagement in sexual desire is very detrimental, unnecessary. Uh, Gradually, one should, gradual, that is a point. Gradually, one should elevate themselves, understanding that this is not our life. This is not the urge that should lead our life. The materialistic people, for them, only two things are there: money and sex. That is only two things. Intoxication also. Money, sex, intoxication, and meat eating. These are the drivers of their life. For a human, civilized human being, these are not the drivers. This is there. That this is just a natural thing. One need not worry too much about it. Okay, there is a simple thing. One should, ultimately, we should feel, understand that unless we come to the gradual vairagya. Vairagya means disengagement from the engagement of these senses. That is called as progress. We can engage this energy, this mind, this intelligence, this understanding for a higher purpose. Raso varjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. We can engage. So brahmacharya means nishiddha desha kalado. Even in marriage, there is nishiddha. On Amavasya day, you should not do. Is it not? The child will be born such a crazy, dangerously. So Amavasya day, one should not go indulge in sex. On Chaturdashi, one should not engage in sex. On so and so, in the morning time, one should not indulge in sex. In this is, there are rules and regulations. There are certain rules and regulations. So one should know these rules, regulations, and association with opposite sex should be very carefully done. Almost carefully, almost nil. For any other than most important required, whatever is required, that's it, finished. Other than that, association with opposite sex should be very carefully. That is called as chastity. To keep ourselves chaste. Uh, so we need association of men, yes, or women, yes, marriage. That's it. Mhm. Even in that, uh, regulated means controlled, understanding that this for progeny. Atyantikam brahmacharya ashramattraya vasinam swadara niyamat samyak brahmachari grahashrami. So grahastha ashrama, it's called as grahastha ashrama. So ultimately, we should place ourselves where we can be enthusiastic. So varna ashrama is given for what? Because bhakti prasidyati. So for increasing the bhakti, this is the most ideal place. What is that? Varnashrama. What is that? Utsaha, dhairya, nischaya, tattat karma pravartana, sangatyaga sato vritti, shadbhir bhakti prasidyati. So one should place ourselves in such a way that we'll be enthusiastic, dhairya, we will be able to conquer this sense of, and distress, dvandvas, uh, happiness and distress, right? Sense urges, utsaha, dhairya, nischaya. So these we should place ourselves in such a way under the guidance of spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. We should place in grahastha hmm, uh, or brahmacharya ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama means everybody should follow brahmacharya. Grahastha is also called as grahastha brahmachari. What is grahastha brahmachari? He indulges in sexual indulgence is only for propagation of progeny, not otherwise. Or gradually one should progress. This is the way. There is a shloka in Bhagavatam. Loke vevaya amisha madhya seva. Nityo hi janturum nahi tatra chodana. Loke vevaya. Naturally, everybody is attracted to sexual desire, meat eating, intoxication. It is natural. So, Shastra is not giving any license to that. Nor Shastra is not telling, oh, do this. No. Shastra is giving regulations to control it. Is it not? So, for one who cannot control, for them also it is told, Shastra is telling, just like pouring ghee in the fire. Little by little, what will happen? The fire will keep on increasing. If you put the ghee at a time, what will happen? The fire will immediately diminish, will go off. Similarly, um, one is indulging in sex in a grahastha as a family man, can't control. Okay, no problem. Just remain in the family life. What will happen? Ultimately, please understand what will happen. Just like putting the ghee at a time. Similarly, upon engaging in sexual desire in the family life also, what will happen is you will get some or the other disease. Then we will realize, oh, yes, enough. No, no, I don't want. So better not get the disease or no. Similarly, putting a ghee at a time means what? Krishna will, in the whole structure of the body is in such a way that you can't do that. You can't go on doing it, indulging in sexual desire. What there are so many diseases associated with it, tuberculosis, syphilis, so many unlimited diseases are affected with connected to that. So therefore, we should understand that if we don't understand, also Krishna has arranged this thing that there are so many diseases to that. So we should very clearly, excessive indulgence in anything is always dangerous. So therefore, we should understand, train our mind that, oh, although mind is demanding, hmm, but we should cheat the mind. That is called as chalitaka yoga, cheating the mind. How to cheat the mind? Give another engagement. So 64 hours of engagement. Puranas are there. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, 9 qualities. Varieties is the mother of what is that? Enjoyment. So Krishna consciousness is full of varieties. So therefore, we gradually train our mind to be relieved from uh, the desire of sexual requirement. So brahmacharyam parastri varjanam nishiddha desha kalado swastri varjanam cha, unnecessary association with uh, women or opposite sex men. So this is not to be done. One should be chaste enough. This is the culture. This is the culture in a society. Brahmacharya culture. Not free mixing. This is one very important quality of human being. Then we can call it as a civilized society. Okay, 637. Let's finish one more quality and we will complete today's session. Tyagaha. Tyago lobharahityam. Lobha means what? Tyago danam. Lobharahityam. We all have one feeling in our heart or feeling in ourselves that I want more. Something which is, if somebody comes to, then we feel, oh, it has to be shared. My God, No, 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 no. I want something all for myself. This is called as lobha, greed. Hmm. Although I can eat only 2 chapatis, but I want to accumulate 4, 5, 10 chapatis with me. Is it not? So that is called as lobha. Simple definition. To be rid of this behavior, lobha, is known as tyaga. Tyaga is also means charity. So accumulation, averseness to accumulation, extra accumulation is known as tyaga. I don't want to accumulate more than what is required. Hmm. So this training is to be done because the mind is greedy. Since we are greedy, what happens is, although we cannot digest that much, we try to accumulate. We try to overeat. Uh, Eating also, we have seen simple eating behavior also. We can observe ourselves. We tend to overeat. Why? We feel somebody else will come and eat, then finish. Then oh no, I should, I should enjoy it. But what happens on after some time? We'll get indigestion problem. So overeating, we see this, right? Accumulating. So as much as I require, that's all. Not more than that. Lobharahitya. You want to share? Yes, please share it to others. Tyago danam. So first of all, money also. Money is something we should know. This is where place Kali is staying actually. Wherever there is money, that is a paper money, Kali stays there. So we should be able to do charity. Charity for what? Again, ultimately the purpose is to so that our mind can be engaged in Krishna consciousness, so that Krishna consciousness or the understanding of everybody takes shelter of Krishna, right? That should be spread. How to do spread? Through books, so printing the books, through Harinama Sankirtana. So devotees are needed to do Sankirtana. Yes. So we need to support them with prasadam. Okay. They should stay somewhere and do this Harinam. Okay. Then is the temple required, right? So temple is required. Deities are to be worshipped. Krishna consciousness have to be practiced. People will come take to this culture, wonderful culture. So this kind of thing is required. So money is required. Capital is required. So we need to give that money. Whatever we have, we should be able to utilize that. So that is called as charity, especially the Lakshmi. Prabhupada, charity is meant for householders. The householders should earn a livelihood by an honorable means. Very important point. Honorable means. No cheating, looting, stealing, not required. That is out of Varnashrama. Varnashrama means honest earning livelihood honestly. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. We are all destined, we are all having some or the other quality. We can serve Krishna in some or the other way. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are all the 4 Varnas. We should situate ourselves in this any one of these 4 Varnas. Earn honest livelihood, not by cheating, stealing, begging, looting, plundering. This is the ways of Yavanas and Milachas. They cannot do agriculture, they cannot do an honest living. Their only ways are looting, stealing, cheating, plundering, killing, and taking away the money. And then with that, they will live their life. This is the Milacha Yavana culture. So therefore, one should find out way where they can be situated perfectly for honest livelihood, earning honest livelihood. Either as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Ultimately, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra's job is what? Haritoshanam. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Their activity should be in such a way that it is service of Krishna. Not any simply working for masters who have no connection with Krishna. Working for masters who are engaged in service of Krishna. Only then, as a Shudra, I can learn from them. As a Shudra, I can associate with them and understand Krishna consciousness. That is the Shudra quality. Shudra means what? Nobody is happy in this material world. That should be understood. Everybody is under the control of Maya. Everybody is suffering because of illusion. We are all in Maya. So we have to fight the Maya from properly. For that, I gave an example. If I'm on top of the mountain, I can see the enemies below and I can fight them very easily. Similarly, we should be situated in such a position where I can fight the Maya. So either as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is a position where I can fight the Maya. Everybody has this task of fighting Maya. Brahmana is not a position. It's a position to fight the Maya only. So that is a perfect position for me to fight the Maya. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, we should situate, earn our livelihood honestly. Uh, Yavadartha prayojanam, simple living, uh, and high thinking. Purpose is to please Krishna. And whatever we earn, yet karoshi dashnasi, yet juhosi dadasi, we use that for serving Krishna. Proper, right? Spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. So 50% is what? Means whatever we earn, our basic necessities are fulfilled, is it not? So for basic necessities is what? Nowadays our basic necessities so much that 100% of the income is also not sufficient. Is it not? That's why we should make our life simple. Mhm. Roti, kapda, makan. You need 2, 3, 4 clothes, enough. You need one pair of slippers, okay. You need one small chatai or small bed, or that is okay. You need some basic Lakshmi for your health requirement, okay. Is it not? Some medicines, okay. Some you need this much kg of rice, this much, okay. Roti, kapda, makan, okay. Some emergency fund is there, okay. Then ultimately, so much whatever extra is there, we should donate it for development of Krishna consciousness. What will happen? Our mind will get trained. This is called as tyagaha. Because we want to accumulate, we get attached. The more we try to accumulate, the more we get attached. So giving up means the more we use it for Krishna consciousness, for propagation of Krishna consciousness, the mind becomes very pacified. So this training of the mind to not accumulate, to do charity, to get rid of the feeling that I want this, I want that. This is called as tyagaha. Hmm? Thus, a householder should give charity institutional societies that are engaged in that way. The established rule is that whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we sacrifice, and whatever we give in charity must be done to the full satisfaction of the Lord. No one should do anything, eat anything, sacrifice anything, or give anything in charity against the will of the Lord. Discretion is the better part of the Veda. Hmm. Right? An action is judged by the Lord's pleasure or displeasure. There is no room for personal whims. We must always be guided by the pleasure of the Lord. Such action is called yoga karmasu kaushalam. Okay. Tyaga means to get rid of the feeling in the heart that I want to accumulate more. Hmm. Bali Maharaj. Art of giving gifts. Right? Giving gift is a very interesting art. We always should be able to give at least one photo of Krishna to others. Hmm. One something, Krishna Prasadam, we should be able to distribute. Uh, we should be able to give something to others. They will feel very happy. Hmm. So even before somebody gives, we should be the first ones to give. Please take. This is what I can offer to you. That is Preeti Lakshanam. Hmm. We'll develop love for Krishna together. Right? Shadvida Preeti Lakshanam. Dadati Pratigrihnati. Guhyam Akyati Prachati. Right? So we will stop here. We'll take up Swadhyaya later. Right? We still have few more, I think 2 more sessions or 3 more at the maximum. We should be able to complete. Now we can take up any discussions anybody has. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, any discussions anybody wants to?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, So when Rupa Goswami mentioned like 50% we should give to Krishna, 25% to ourselves, 25% to our family. So this
Yeah.
50% is like total of like how much ever you earn over the lifetime, like during your grihastha you should offer at that time at this juncture when you go to vanaprastha, or you regularly do it like monthly basis, like that's
Yeah.
part one. Part two I have
Mm. Yeah. See, actually, donation, as soon as we get, better to give it off. What happens is, mind is always,
mm,
what do you call? Mm, it is said in Shastra that once we think that we should donate, we should donate it.
mm,
So, of course, see, it's always there is a planning. So, see, we think, we understand. It's a simple thing, not too much one should worry and all that. What will happen to my future and how things will be going on. Actually, see, Krishna is in full control. Krishna is in full control, and nobody can go hungry. See, now what has happened, the culture of one site for my side, one, what is that? One apartment for my child, one apartment, so much land for this. So many things we try to accumulate. These are nonsense things are there. So many unlimited desires, so many unlimited things. We go on unlimitedly. So one should be very simple and clear that everything belongs to Krishna. It is to be utilized. Krishna has given already. See, nobody is in distress. Is it not right? Uh, Everybody is having 3 meals, or at least 1, 2, 3 meals, whatever. Everybody is satisfied. Everybody is having some shelter. So Krishna so mercifully has placed us in such a way that is more than enough for me. Is it not? So I should be able to propagate Krishna consciousness. What is the use of accumulating, go on accumulating? Ultimately, I will get attached to these things. I will get so much attached and entangled that they will become my enemies. These things will become my enemies. So, therefore, I should utilize that Lakshmi. Uh, Not only Lakshmi, my active, my ability, everything. I especially Tyaga means to do whatever I have without greed. I should be able to share it, give it. I should not. I should accumulate only that much as necessary for me. Mm. That is like Brahmana in tradition. Uh, the tradition is that he will not keep more than 3 days grains in the house. Why? Because he has no time. His time all is going in studying and teaching and other things. Yajanyajan, Patan Patan, Dana Pratigraha. He is not. Otherwise, if he accumulates more than 3 days, what will happen? Uh, the worms will come, rats will come, so many things will happen. He no time to maintain it. Just 3 days enough. I don't want. Go, students, go collect some bhiksha, come back. This is the culture traditionally. So now also, as much as we want, okay, this much we want, okay, finish. Extra, give it. This is called as. Uh, so every month it can be planned wherever we get some. See, now thing is everybody is working in a job, right? Everybody is working in some kind of the other job. They get at the end of the month or at the end of a week some salary. What do we do with that salary? We obviously plan, right? This much for my food, this much for my uh, uh, maintenance, this much for my emergency fund, this much is extra. What I will do with this extra? You make a plan in beforehand. Okay, Krishna, this is what I plan to do some service to you. Okay, this is what all those things. I would like to give some Lakshmi for this so and so particular purpose. Right? It can be given. So cow protection. Every human being in the every family should be very concerned about cow protection. Huh? Why? Because cows are ones which are sustaining our life. Everybody is drinking milk. She is our mother, is it not? So we should be concerned. mm, We should be worried how cows should be protected. and that is the basis of development of Brahminical culture, cow protection and Brahminical culture. So Krishna consciousness means two very important things: cow protection and Brahminical culture. That is propagation of Krishna consciousness. How is it propagation of Krishna consciousness possible? Printing of books, propagation of Harinam Sankirtana, all related to it. All related to it. One should be able to um, propagate, help, be part of it. Is it not? That is real elevation of ourselves. Anyway, we are going to die in another few days' time. Is it not? We are left with few years only. What are we going to do with accumulating? Our children also will not be able to eat so much. So one should be. This is a disease of the mind that we want to accumulate. So as soon as we have something by Krishna's mercy, we should be able to give it back to Krishna. So it's a good question. It depends. Details are according to your situations, according to your ability, and uh, you know our own factors are there. But we should be uh, very broadly, intelligently plan and understand very peacefully that yes, this is what I can do extra. I would like to do this thing, but very again, so many things are there where I'm giving Lakshmi, what they will use, so many things. But we should not be too much worried. And also, after giving danam, we should not tell others that I have given such and such a dana. One should be silent. One should be. That is also an interesting, important this thing that once we give dana, we should not propagate about it, boast about it. I have given so much of dana. No, that is a purpose. To give dana means to purify ourselves from the feeling that more and more I want to accumulate. It's simple, nothing to worry much about it. It's an art. It's a simple uh, act. Mm.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
I have a part two to it, but if anybody
Yes.
want to ask, they can.
Yeah. Some chat box messages. Itching computer. Yeah. Any other? You can go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah. So, so there is a charity in goodness, passion, ignorance. There are several categories, right, Prabhu? So I was wondering if you could shed some high-level points over that.
Nothing much. If the charity is, that's what. If so, goodness means giving at the right time to right person, right? So that is what is to be done. Mm. So right time, right moment means to right person means the adhikari. What they will use it for, that is important to understand also. Of course, use it for means what? Ultimately, how that Lakshmi will be utilized. If I am giving some charity and it is what against what is supposed to be done, Krishna consciousness understanding, then it is of anti to the thing. It is not going to be so useful because ultimately we want to cure the root problem. The root problem is lack of Krishna consciousness in the society. So if we can cure that problem, then that is all fantastic. Mm. So other things are externally. So Shreyas and Preyas is to be understood. If we know the ultimate benefit of all, that is to be done. So simple actually that we should see. Mm, right. Mm. Any further discussions?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I think we can close the session if no questions are there. If anything are there, you can do it over WhatsApp or you can message me. We can continue tomorrow to address other qualities and complete it in 2 days or a maximum 3 day session. That will complete the 30 qualities. I hope this is being useful to all and important and interesting. Okay,
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
thank you. Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa sindhu
Pitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaः.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Swati Mataji. Thank you. We can stop the recording, I think, no, Prabhu?